Hey everyone, welcome back to TD Miles. This is the first video of chapter 2 about getting things to be audio reactive in Touch Designer. This video is about creating a visual network from scratch and then making it audio reactive. But this video is contingent on a couple things that I've talked about in my last two videos. So make sure to go to my channel or website to find those videos as well. This project file will be available for download. So if you would like to skip or watch this tutorial with the project file already in front of you, you can download it for free on my website. But in this video, I'm going to be making a network similar to this that you're seeing right now from scratch. So without further ado, let's go ahead and delete this network. The first thing we're going to want to do is bring in under SOPs. We want a sphere SOP. So we'll bring that in. It's obviously just a 3D sphere. From that, we can go into a fractal. And this kind of, gives it this like fuzzy fractal-ish look. From that, let's go into a noise SOP. So this is the basis of our render that we're making today. Just these three SOPs will give us the shape that we're going to be affecting to make audio reactive. Now, to get this 3D object into the 2D domain, we need to render it using a geometry comp. So from that noise, let's drag out, hit tab, and go to the comp tab. And let's go into a geometry. Now, just over here, I'm going to double click and go to the top tab and find render. And you'll see we get a warning, and that's because we have our geometry linked to the render, but just like we would in like Blender or some other 3D software, we need a camera to be able to see our geometry, our 3D material. So under comp again, let's add a light. And then we're also going to want a camera, of course, like I was just saying. So now we have a 3D render network assembled. Again, that's our geometry, a light, and a camera. And now we can see our 3D shape rendered into a 2D video. Right now, the material is kind of plain. It's just like this default gray material. So what we're going to do next is give our geometry a new material, which we can find under the matte tab in our op create dialog. I think for this, it would be cool if we did a line material. So let's just drop a line somewhere. You can see this is like a preview of the material just on a torus. So let's take our line material and drop it onto the geometry comp. And then we'll just say material here, the first option. And now you'll see that our render has these lines applied to it. Here on our line material, we're going to be able to change everything like the line thickness and the color. So within the parameters here, the first thing I'm going to do is change the width, just lower around like 0.4, 0.5 or so. I'm going to put both to 0.4 for right now. Now under line, I'm going to change the color just to like bright red with the saturation value all the way up. So what you can see is this changes. There's like a certain threshold in our render. Things close to us are getting our line near color, and then the things in the back of the render are getting our line far color. So I'm going to change the far color to like a darker red. I'm going to pick red there and turn down the value a bit. So it gives the sort of illusion of like light, making the things closer to us brighter. The other thing I'm going to do is lower the line far alpha, which means alpha is like transparency. So an alpha of 1 is completely opaque, and an alpha below 1 means that it's going to be like see-through if it's placed over something else. So I'm going to put the far alpha at like 0.5-ish. And then under the common tab, we have to turn on blending transparency to actually make the alpha transparent when it's below 1. So now looking at our render, we've got our blob moving around, but there's kind of this like space on either side of our render that's just kind of wasted. It doesn't really have anything going on except when things stretch out to the side. So on our sphere, I'm going to change the shape of that sphere to more appropriately fit our screen. I'm going to change the radius, the X value to 2. So now it's stretched horizontally. It's this sort of oval shape. And that fills the screen a little bit better. It is extending past the screen though. So after we've changed that radius to 2 of our sphere, we can go to our camera, and under the translate values here, we could change this 5 maybe to like 6. So the camera is pulled back a little bit, maybe even 7. Yeah, so now we have things more in view, but our render is now messed up because of the threshold of like what is near and what is far. It's treating everything like it's far. So going back to our line material under setup, these two parameters, distance near and distance far, can actually let us determine where near and far is. So distance near, I'm going to say like, we'll just call that 7. And distance far, I guess also 7. Maybe let's move that near a little bit closer, like 6.5 or 6 or 5. I kind of like that. I'm going to go 5.5. Of course, this is all up to you. If you went with a different color for your line, for example, things might look differently. Depending on your monitor, things might look differently. So take these things with a grain of salt. If something has to be a certain value, I will let you know. But any of these things, like just purely changing a visual like thing to taste, you can do whatever you want. So now from our render top, I'm just going to put some post effects, and then we can get into making this audio reactive. From our render top, I'm going to go to a edge top. Oh, also, I'm just going to drag out from there and create a null top, so I can turn display on that, so we can see, like, as we add things here, we can see it changing. Inside the edge top, I'm going to say comp over input. I'm going to set that to on. And I'm going to change the edge color also to bright red. And what this does is it just kind of brightens up the edges a little bit. And then after that, if we hover over this connection and right click, we can say insert operator. And I'm going to add a bloom top. And then on the bloom top, we can maybe lower the threshold like to a pretty low value and just raise the intensity even lower for the threshold. Yeah, like 0.0002. Just bring up the intensity. So now we have this like glowing effect. I'm also going to lower the maximum radius so it's like a more dense glow rather than this like giant bloom of color. It's more exactly like where the brightest points are. Cool. So I like this this visual. I think we're at a good point now to make it audio reactive. So up above our visual network here, we can go ahead and add under chops. Let's add a audio file in. For this video, I'm not going to be monitoring the audio from this just because I'm using speakers and a microphone. But for your sake and in the project file, I'm going to have the audio file going to audio device out. But for our purposes, I'm just going to do it blind or deaf maybe. From that audio in chop, oh, actually, we're going to open up our palette. Again, I have 2 videos prior to this one detailing some of these concepts. So I'm just kind of going to go through this next process. But if you would like to know more about it, you can watch video 1.3 where I do an in-depth explanation of audio analysis in Touch Designer. So I'm going to drag in that audio analysis. It's under tools in the palette. Put that. Oh, I'm also going to turn off display for right now. I'm going to feed the audio file into audio analysis and then enable lows, mids, and highs. So we can see that they're moving, they're getting signal. And then from output 0 here on the top, I'm going to go into a select. And in that select chop, I'm just going to select low, mid, and high. So now with those, I'm going to go into a lag chop. So this like kind of slows down our values a little bit. It doesn't make them so jumpy because it's rare that you would want something this jumpy to be changing a visual parameter. A lot of the time, visuals will look better if they change a little bit slower than the actual audio itself is changing. Now in that lag chop, I'm going to change these values to 1 and 1. So it's even slower. And now from that lag chop, I'm going to create just another parameter that we could use. I'm going to go from that into another select. And then I'm going to select the mid and high channels. And from there, I'm going to go into a math chop. And then under combine channels on the math chop, let's set that to average. So what this is giving us is the average of mid and high levels in our track, obviously with the lag applied to them. So this will kind of be everything that's like not the low end, everything that's not bass or kicks, just can be a nice general like tool to use in our audio reactivity. I'm going to turn the display back on our null here so we can see what we're doing. And now we're going to go to the noise SOP, and let's go to the amplitude parameter and set that to 0. And then I think maybe our low value should be changing the amplitude of the noise. So on this lag here with the low end in it, I'm going to turn on the viewer and then drag that low value to amplitude on our noise SOP. And I'll say chop reference. I'm also going, it's a little bit weak right now, so I'm going to multiply that by, let's try 5. Nice. So now when the kicks are hitting, our geometry, our 3D shape is kind of pulsating with it. And now with our mid and high combo, I might go to like the bloom. We'll turn the viewer on that last chop there and map that to bloom intensity. So obviously we prior to this had our bloom intensity way up, almost at like 4. So I'm gonna multiply this by like 10, and I'm gonna add, let's say like 1.5, maybe even 2 instead of 1.5. Yeah, I like that. So now when the mids and highs hit, they're going to increase the bloom. You can kind of see periodically we're getting like a little bit extra glow. So yeah, that's how I developed the example project that you saw at the beginning of this video. This project file I'm going to save and upload to my website. You can go there to download this if you would like to just work with this project file, for example, or if you would prefer to build it yourself. Either way works. Next up, I've got a video just about how to export a video from Touch Designer with audio. I'm probably going to use this same file, I would think. So make sure to watch that next, or go to my channel. I'll have a playlist of all the videos in this series so you can check out more about doing things with audio reactivity in Touch Designer. Thank you for watching.